Welcome to an episode of Chat Sports Talk. You know, my name's Chad. Take a dive on sports. And we're talking about college football once again. That's right, we're all on the realignment. I'm a little more late when it comes to this party in terms of the Pac-12. Now, there's lots of videos out there and a lot of news articles and other guys that are smarter than me that have already said, Pac-12 is on its last leg. The corner schools are getting plugged by the Big 12. The Pac-12 is going on an expansion run. I mean, there's just so many nuances in going into the Pac-12 that I think it's time for me to kind of throw in my 2 cents, or however little that's really worth, depending on how you rate my currency in terms of that one. Before I dive into all that speculation, if you could go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me, especially like the content I provide you, really please YouTube guys, really help promote the channel out. You can also subscribe. A lot of you guys are reading my work, and not many of you subscribe. This costs you a dime and helps me provide more entertainment value for you. Right now, the rumor mills and proponents have all kind of said that they're kind of looking at trying to grab at least 2 schools to replace the 2 who are leaving, and one of the top schools on the list is San Diego State. Now, San Diego State, being down there in Southern California, gives you your footprint back down that region. No, you are not replace USC, UCLA, period. Those are 2 marquee programs for this conference that left. How do you recover from that? That's really hard to do. Football aspects-wise, USC definitely rebounded. UCLA is on the rise. We still have Utah, you have Oregon, you have Washington. Arizona State's kind of a downtime. Washington State, Oregon State, definitely no pushovers. Stanford's had great years. Arizona has great years. There's great optimism in Colorado now, thanks to Deion Sanders being the new head coach. And the recruitment he's able to bring in. So that kind of gives you new nuance. And most recently, the Pac-12 president went out to Dallas to meet with SMU to put the Pac-12 in the state of Texas, a huge recruiting hotbed, much like Southern California is. I think those are 2 excellent moves, but get those 2 programs if they ever pull this one off. Now, some things you kind of don't realize by the Pac-12 is every one of their current members are all R1 level research institutions. And a vast majority of them are AAU universities. That's Stanford, Arizona, Colorado, Oregon, Utah, Washington, and UCLA and USC. That's why they both go into the Big Ten, because that's their requirement to join, is be a member of that AAU before joining. If you look at San Diego State and SMU, and I got my list here, they're not R1. San Diego State is an R2 research university, and SMU doesn't even register. Now, that could be because of them being a private institution. But I think the Pac-12's got to look at this aspect as we probably have to find what could move the needle. And I mean, I think the Pac-12 needle is probably about here. Losing USC and UCLA puts them here. Adding San Diego State and SMU, it doesn't move. It might actually dip a little bit. But you do bring in the markets of Dallas and San Diego. Note, neither one of them have a stranglehold on that. It's like San Diego, they don't have an NFL team to compete with. They're not going to be Charger fans. They might be Rams fans. But I'm sure USC and UCLA have fans down in San Diego. There's definitely a fan base in San Diego State. And the brand new stadium, Snapdragon Stadium, could be upgraded to add a few more seats to it to kind of increase the seating capacity to kind of compete with like Stanford and Cal and whatnot. And bringing in that other Cal university is probably, I think, most evident, and once again puts a school in a recruiting hotbed in Southern California. Much needed. They'll draw the fans when you get like the big, like Utah and Oregon coming to town. They definitely draw the fans. They've proven they can beat them. So San Diego State thing's no brainer. SMU, they're like the fifth, sixth wheel in terms of the market over there in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. You can with TCU, the national title game, and then draw that many fans from that area. But I think at SMU really gives them a foothold in a nice recruiting area. Now, I think for the Pac-12, adding those two, I think are no-brainers. I think almost a lock. But why stop there? Why not go for more? You know the Big 12 is going to be out there shopping for more. They've already stated they're looking to add more. Both San Diego State and SMU were on their radar. So who else do you look at to add while competing against the Big 12 in terms of trying to draw schools in? Maybe adding a couple more marquee programs will kind of put the next level up. Now, the next one I got on the list, I think the Pac-12 should really go after. And it will probably be immediate no, is BYU. I think BYU is better fit to be in the Pac-12 just because of the rivalry with Utah, the rivalry with Arizona and Arizona State back in the old WAC days. And if San Diego State joins, they have that rivalry with them. They're familiar with SMU as well when they were all in the WAC at one point in time, and the WAC was the super conference. Well, I think BYU will probably tell them no anyways, just because I think they like the spot they're in with the Big 12. They feel like they'll probably be a little bit bigger fish in that pond than they would be in the Pac. And I can understand that one, so I'll still reach out to BYU, even though I probably know the answer. But I think that's an aspect I'll definitely look after. But I do have a long list of universities I think that could be added as 13, 14, but I'll kind of go ahead and knock out a few of them now that I'm not going to add. This is also from the Mountain West and American. One name I keep hearing that people have mentioned just because it had a decent year this past year, and they're in that region, is Air Force. Now, with that being said, I don't mind that Air Force being considered, but I'm also in the same boat as you can't add one military academy without adding the other two. But for me, Air Force, no, don't add them. I mean, that gives them another school in Colorado, which I get. I think Colorado might block it. Same thing, they will block Colorado State. I think Utah will block Utah State. Wyoming won't join without Colorado State. I believe San Jose State's too close to the Bay, so they'll get blocked by both Cal and Stanford. Nevada, interesting one. I see them a little bit more likely, but I think, in essence, I think they'll be left off the table. New Mexico will be another interesting one to look at as well, just because it gives them the four corners, literally. They already have those rivalries with Arizona State, and Utah, and then the San State gets added. They had that rivalry there as well in the old WAC and sometime Mountain West time frame. And then if you add SMU, gives SMU a school closer to them, so it'll help a little bit with their travel cost. But I think they probably get left out, but I'll keep that one in the back of my mind. I kind of like that addition as well. If you look at some Western AAU programs like North Texas and UTSA, I think both those are out, even though North Texas would be immediate rival for SMU, but I don't think they're on the same level. UTSA is a very young program on the rise, especially look what they've done the past 2 seasons, back-to-back Conference USA championships. I think in that aspect, I think that in Tulsa's another one I don't think will be added. West programs, I think Hawaii, interesting look. I think it's been mentioned in a few video comments before that Hawaii would be a perfect fit for the Pac-12. Yes and no. Present point in time, I'm going to say no to Hawaii. I got a list of schools that should probably be looked at, and that kind of makes sense. Memphis should be on the radar, period. Even though I think they might be earmarked for the Big 12, but definitely reach out to Memphis. There's definitely going to spend money on fixing the Liberty Bowl, which is much needed. A decent football program should put them like right in the middle of the Pac-12 standings. Decent basketball program, once again, probably put them in the middle. They should be competitive within a few years, but I think it might be too far for the Pac-12 to reach out to. Tulane would be an interesting one, and this is an AAU program. A original member of the SEC. And why not bring the team that beat USC in the Cotton Bowl? The game I did not actually coming. But I think with Tulane, I think like Memphis, might be too far of a stretch for the Pac-12 to reach out to. They too could be earmarked for the Big 12, depending on what the Pac-12 does in their expansion. Rice, another AAU program out there in Houston, but they're so far down the list of a TV audience, it may not be worth it, but academically, fits right in the wheelhouse for the Pac-12. And it gets them in Houston as well, the 10th largest media market. Even though they probably will draw a 10th of that percentage, but they can probably still grab it. And I think that might be a no-brainer. I think it's one of the reasons why the American went after Rice when they lost Houston. And then it's just going to have a stab at the American and go like, hey, we got Rice and we lost Rice. But with that, I think that'd be a bit of a stretch, but it would give SMU a old school rival from the old Southwest days, and then look at the possibility of regenerating that one to get the Houston-Dallas rivalry going, which is big rivalry in the state of Texas. So I kind of see that aspect that could possibly be a 13th member. Now looking at other, Fresno State is an interesting one. I think another one's been mentioned quite a few times just because of what they have done on the field. And right there in Central Valley, they're right down the road from, the Bay Area. And I'm not sure the Pac-12 will go there, even though Fresno State would be a very competitive draw to the conference, especially in football. I think that's something they really desperately need. Give them that competitive edge like San Diego State would give. I think Fresno State would be the exact same way. And plus, they have the rivalry going as well. But I don't think they want to go into Fresno, more than likely. I think they're trying to see other areas where they don't have a footprint too much. I don't know. It could surprise me to take Fresno State. I've been wrong many times before. I'll probably go no with Fresno State. I think it's a very logical decision to go there. And then it leaves me Boise State and UNLV. I went back and forth on these two. You see in previous videos, I put UNLV in there because of location. Las Vegas is a bigger media market. It's a growing media market, a growing sports hotbed. The UNLV plays in a NFL stadium. No other school in the Pac-12 plays in an NFL stadium. Only two schools had legendary stadiums. That's USC, UCLA. Now you lose the Rose Bowl and Memorial Coliseum. UNLV, like I said, doesn't draw anything to their games because it's UNLV. You don't look at UNLV and think, hey, that's a football school. I think the last time UNLV was relevant was when Randall Cunningham came out of that school. That's a few years back. But the Pac-12 already has their championship games in Las Vegas. Like I said, NFL stadium, in an NHL arena they can use that they use for the Pac-12 championship. So they're in Las Vegas already. Why not add UNLV, making it permanent home of the Pac-12? I don't know about that one, just because of the aspect of the athletics. And then Boise, I think Boise State is like the number one choice everyone puts for the Pac-12, and I understand why. One of the best schools of the Group of Five, since the age of the BCS, the original BCS buster that is yet to make a splash. TCU and Utah's already done that. Utah's in the Pac-12, TCU's in the Big 12. Where's Boise State? What's keeping the Broncos behind? Academics. They don't have a doctorate program. So I think the Pac will find a way to kind of balance between, okay, let's find the universities that meet their standards academically, or at least close to it, and also provide us some athletic competition to help kind of raise our profile. And I think that's where San Diego State and SMU kind of go, even though they're both, I mean, SMU is not even listed on there, but academically, like I said, the balance. San Diego State's R2, a decent athletic department, so they kind of lift those two up. So I put Rice on there, AAU University, so definitely raises the bar. Athletically down, so probably them, Rice and SMU will balance themselves out in terms of those two aspects. So who do you add to kind of counter San Diego State? And that's where I leaned UNLV once again. It's not that I don't like Boise State. I have no issues with Boise State. And I think Boise State probably more like you get an invite somewhere. But I think with the aspect of them, the Pac-12 trying to find the right balance between academics and athletics, if you get one that's already sitting up here athletically, you got to find the balance with the one athletically, I think. I think UNLV would be the opposite for San Diego State. Academically, they're slightly better. Athletically, it's all Aztecs. But no, it won't be popular. People go, no, Boise State, Fresno State. Why bring in Rice and UNLV? They don't move the needle at all. But putting having schools in San Diego, Dallas, Houston, Las Vegas, those are big. These big cities in the western part of the U.S. to add schools in. I already know Las Vegas, Dallas, and Houston got to compete with the NFL, much like Seattle does. Or the Bay Area schools have to do it. Even Colorado has to compete with the Broncos. So the Pac-12 is battling, trying to battle with the viewership. Who's going, with the NFL, and then with their conference, and a little bit with like the Big Sky or the Mountain West. But with this aspect, I think San Diego State and SMU, I think are locked, like I mentioned before. I don't think it's going to be much of an issue with these two being added. The fact that I don't think they should stop there. I think adding Rice would be beneficial for SMU. Renews that rivalry once again. That will be added once again in the American once if Rice joins. Old rivalry from the old Southwest days. Brings an AAU University back into the Pac-12, which I think that they want to have another one back in there after losing two of them to the Big Ten. And UNLV is the oddball one just because of the aspect of going to Vegas. They're already there anyways for the championship games. So why not make it a permanent addition? With adding this would also help the profile of UNLV athletics. I know there's I already hear it right now. No, Boise State, Fresno State. I get it. I do. But also you got to look at, okay, what will, because I got other papers. I got the papers listed of the R1, R2, AAU programs, and I got my list of who I was trying to add to where. If they go 16, definitely going after those two. I have no question about that. Why stop at 14 or 12? Why not go 16? You go 16, definitely Boise State, Fresno State. I think those get picked up in a heartbeat. But you got to think, I think the Big 12 is going to look to try to go to 14. And I think for them, they'll probably go west. And they'll look at Boise State, San Diego State. So it's definitely an interesting time frame. Who can make the jump first? Who can grab the schools first? And for me, I'm going to go over the Pac-12, San Diego State, SMU, get back to 12. Don't stop there. Add Rice, UNLV. Not much athletically, but gives them into other media markets that could affect some viewership, probably get more eyes to the TV, but more eyes to the Pac-12 product. That could help increase their aspect, try and gain a little bit more money from a television deal. Probably not much, but every little bit helps, because you cannot replace USC, UCLA. You can just try to add as many teams possible to kind of get you close to that and still kind of meet the inflation needs of the schools and universities and get a deal similar to what the ACC has. Even though ACC deal is garbage, but they need at least something like that. Probably getting closer to the Big 12 deal, but they need something like that. They're not going to get the same money SEC and the Big 10 get. No one is. But then you get a little snippet of some love, and I think adding at least 4 programs gives you that. I can take away, I can concede, Rice and UNLV and swap them out with Fresno State, Boise State. I get that one because it gives you more better football programs that could immediately affect the standings in the Pac-12, or then should be the Pac-14. I get that one. So I'm just kind of, trying to find the right balance here and there. But hey, just let me know down below. I know I kind of rambled on a bit and definitely contradicted myself and tried to talk myself out of what I did, and kind of gave a couple other teams added to that mixture. That's what I do. I come with an idea, then I turn around and destroy that idea, then they go back to the idea anyway. So that's just how I am. But hey, just let me know down below. What do you think the Pac-12 is going to do? Do you think the Pac-12 will add San Diego State and SMU? Will they go beyond that? Will the Big 12 start adding? I'll probably start looking more to some aspects, with the Big 12 possibly going up to 14, and then going, okay, let's get everyone to 16 and see how that one kind of plays out. You got some crazy thoughts going in my head. It's college football off season, so why not? And just let me know down below what you think. I already know what half you're going to say, if not more. Just be kind. That's all I ask. I read everyone's comments. So everyone was just shaking my head, and I'm like, yeah, I get that. But while you're down there, you can share this video with friends and family. It helps promote this video out. You can also hit that thumbs up once again. Once you subscribe, make sure you click that bell icon and turn on your notification. Let you know next time I post any more content on my channel. And I'll see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.